Hello everyone, welcome to another of my Samsung Galaxy Note 2 videos. In this video I'm going to show you how to use the Galaxy Note 2 as a computer on your desk. And I think it should work excellent because it has the split screen multitasking feature that that you really need to achieve that true PC functionality. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need is obviously a Galaxy Note 2, and you will also need a power adapter, and I'll show you why. The power adapter is required on this HDMI MHL HDTV adapter. I know that's a mouthful, but it comes in this small box, and it's about $45. Okay, and just want to note this is a 11-pin MHL adapter. And the ones for the Galaxy S2 and the original Note, you'll need a 5 to 11 pin converter for it to work. Okay, so make sure you buy the 11 pin adapter straight, or if you have a 5 pin one already, buy the 11 pin converter. Okay, so the power adapter actually plugs into this micro USB jack in the back. And unfortunately, because it requires the power, you're not able to plug in anything like the USB OTG connector there. Okay, another thing is you're going to need a HDMI cable. This HDMI cable, the other end is already connected to my monitor behind me. I have a monitor behind us. Okay, so I'm going to connect the HDMI cable into the adapter. Okay, also you're going to need to power this adapter, right? So let's plug that into the power. Okay, we have it all powered up. So last step is to plug in the Galaxy Note 2. Okay, and then you should see, one second here. Okay, there was a message that popped up saying that the HDTV adapter was connected. Okay, and then the next steps, you're going to need a Bluetooth mouse and a Bluetooth keyboard. Okay, so I have a video separately showing you how to pair the USB keyboard and the USB mouse. So if you need help with that, make sure you watch those other videos. Okay, so let's fire this thing up. Okay, so I've finished pairing my USB keyboard and USB mouse, and you could see I have it connected with the MHL adapter there. So let me show you what it looks like on the keyboard, on the monitor. And as you can see, it's in landscape mode, but it hasn't tilted the screen because the home screen does not support landscape mode. But that's what it looks like on the computer, right? But once I click on one of these apps here that supports landscape mode, you could see it goes right into landscape mode. Let me adjust the lighting in my room a little bit. Okay, I've adjusted the lighting in my room, but let's actually take a step back. I'm going to restart the device. So let's do a restart. Okay, and as you could see like a little splash screen there. And that's the shutdown screen I get when I shut down my phone. Okay, but what's interesting is, even though that reminds you of a lot like how your computer when it's booting up for the first time, right? You don't see it when it's booting up. You only see it when it's shutting down. It's a nice touch, but I wish it had it when it was booting up. But it's understandable. It all those features that detects that HDMI is there, it's not enabled. So anyway, it also does something cool when you're booting up, or when it sees the MHL cable, not just when it's booting up, but when it sees the MHL cable and you're on landscape mode, and yeah, when you had the TV connected, right? Okay, so let's wake the devices up. I'm gonna wake up the keyboard. Okay, and then I'm going to wake up the mouse. I just hit the space bar on the keyboard and move the mouse around a little bit to make it reestablish the connection. Okay, so I'm just going to do a click and drag Okay, let's enable it. Okay, I think we're fully booted now, so let's start up the internet browser, and let's try to do stuff that you would do in front of a real computer. So I'm going to start up multitasking by holding on the right mouse button. Okay, there we go. And then I could scroll through this list. Let me show you what doesn't work. So imagine you want to play a video, right? And let's say you want to start up one of these videos. Okay. The interesting thing is it plays in full screen even though it's not full screen on the phone. And I read a workaround saying you could disable hardware overlays in developer options, but that does not seem to work. So if any of you have the solution to fix this, because I actually like watching videos when I'm working on the computer, and you could definitely do that if you weren't using the LCD monitor. But if you are, then it kind of does get in the way. But maybe another interesting thing. Okay, here's an interesting workaround. See that you see my mouse pointer there? You could just squeeze that down, right? And then make that tab disappear. You could squeeze that down so you get the full screen of the video in the back, and you could still work with most of the screen, right, on the other side. Okay. But let's quit this video for now because it does not work with what we're trying to do here. Okay. So let's actually open up, say, you have email and you have the web browser open. Okay, so let's go back up. Okay, so yeah, we're multitasking here. You could size these down, depending on what you want to work with. Okay, let me make that tab go away by holding the right mouse button. Okay, and then you could actually switch places, right? Does this neat little transition. And say you wanted to work on full screen of one of these, just click on that. Oops, just click on, there we go. Okay, it just full screen's the one you clicked on last. Okay, let's actually, I'm kind of curious what happens if I hit the back button. Oh, interesting. And I think we have a bug. So I hit the back button hoping that it would revert back to my internet browser and the Gmail, but it went back to the video I was playing, and that is a bug. Definitely not working the way it should. Okay, let's put the Gmail back on there. Okay, and let's just put it right down the middle. And unfortunately my mouse does not have resizing capabilities, so I'm going to have to pinch on the touch screen, right? Then let's see, there we go. Okay, everything's still working great. Let's see what happens when a YouTube video plays. I wonder if that hardware overlay problem will happen when we play YouTube videos. Okay, yeah, no problem when playing YouTube videos, so that's a good thing. Do notice it's cutting off the screen a little bit. I'm wondering if I just need to zoom out a little bit more. No, it doesn't. Okay, that's interesting. Kind of gets in the way of the screen here. Okay, so I'm just like pointing all these out so that if you were really or you get a good impression of what it's like, what it really is like, before you invest in all these components. Because although the Bluetooth mouse and keyboard is cheap, I thought the cable, HDMI cable, was a bit expensive. Okay, so let's see, that works well. Okay, and let's see, what if you wanted to work on like a Word document, right? Say you wanted to have email open, your Gmail open, but you want to work on a Word document. Let's see what happens. So you will notice I have all the major Office suites installed in here, but they're not on this list, right? So that means that we're going to have to just use it full screen and the multitasking won't work. Let's use Kingsoft Office. Okay, I think I was just like typing gibberish just to test out my keyboard there. Okay. Okay, so let's remove all this. Okay, so I held shift and then I hit down on the keyboard and that seems to all work. Okay, I'm testing the Samsung Galaxy Note 2 as if it was a PC. PC, there we go. Okay, and seems to type just fine. Here's one killer feature only exclusive to Kingsoft Office. You could select on text. Let's see, select text as just do a click and drag with the mouse, and it's different than for example, you cannot click and drag on the smartphone. Watch on the Galaxy Note 2. So say you want to do a click and drag, it's not like it'll do it here. But here's a great feature in Kingsoft Office. Just click and drag. Whoops. Oh, got it to work. There we go. Just click and drag and then you could type over the text. Okay. Let's see if Control Z works. Okay, Control Z worked, but the options are there already. Maybe easier to do. Okay. So that's cool. Okay, so let's just play with this a little bit more. Let's insert. Oh, actually, here's one really important fact you gotta know. When you're using the Bluetooth keyboard, actually, you see how the keyboard pops up every time you click, and then I actually hit the right mouse button to get rid of this keyboard. You cannot disable that on the Bluetooth keyboard. I had a video up earlier showing that you can disable that with null keyboard. Wi-Fi keyboard was another option on disabling that, but it might work for a little while. But the Bluetooth and the Samsung keyboard is connected somehow, and when it doesn't see that you have Samsung keyboard connected, it'll actually take down your Bluetooth. Like you gotta disable it and re-enable it again, and it's a big pain. So just letting you know, if you have the USB keyboard with the OTG connector, definitely not a problem to use with the null keyboard, so that you don't get this annoying thing that blocks pretty much your entire screen, and you don't have to hit the back button. But with the Bluetooth keyboard, you have to go through these steps, and I think it is like a bug, maybe like a feature, but it needs to be changed by Samsung so that we don't have this annoying keyboard problem when we have the Bluetooth keyboard and mouse connected. Okay, anyway, I just want to format some of these, or just kind of put together a regular document, maybe a title, Galaxy Note 2 review. Okay, and let's select it, and then I want to format it. So our formatting options. Okay. Here's our formatting options. I want to center. I want to make this larger. Well, let's do bold first. Oops, I don't think it's centered. Center. Interesting. Oh, okay, that is the center of the screen. My bad. Okay, let me see if I could zoom out on this Word document there. Okay, that's a lot better. Okay, and I want to increase the size. Okay, that looks good. Hit the back button to get rid of that annoying keyboard. Hit it again. Okay. It is great except that annoying. I'm going to make a typing mistake on purpose. Keyboard that pops up. Too bad. Okay. Then I believe I saw some spell check. Okay. Samsung 2. Okay. And you could double click on the word just like a computer and to highlight that word. Okay. I wonder if you could do double click. Double click. Interesting. Okay. Let's close spell check. Done. Okay. And we'll do by Michael Ma. Interesting. I'm getting kind of, it's weird. I'm trying to do a scroll up and down with the scroll, and actually it does not support it. I'm kind of surprised. But you know, you could click and drag, so it's not really a problem. Okay, let's see what this reader button does. Okay, it puts it in full screen mode. Okay, let's get out of full screen mode and let's save. Okay, I believe it to save. Okay, and it wants me to choose where to save the file. This is my internal storage, and even though it's called the SD card, it's my internal storage, and this is my external storage. Let's save it on the internal storage. Okay, we're just going to save it on the root of the internal storage. So, could give it a name. Let's put Galaxy Note 2 review as a PC. Okay. And then, oh, you could encrypt it, but I'm not going to do that. Let's see if we could choose docx. Definitely can. Okay, and it's saved. Okay, so as a word processor, definitely it takes some getting used to, and I think you could definitely knock out a couple of documents, but it does have that one annoying bug with the keyboard, and you know, it's not something you can't work around, but it's pretty annoying. Okay, and I just want to go back on a little bit of something I said. Remember I said when you view YouTube videos, it does not take up the entire screen. Well, I was viewing a YouTube video through the Flash player on the YouTube webpage, and actually you will have a problem with the YouTube app doing multi-screen. So let's launch the YouTube app. Okay. Say that you want to have your email open. Okay, so let's look on the bottom. As you can see, I have the email app open on the left and the YouTube app open on the right. Well, that's not happening up here. It's just grabbing this video stream and outputting it straight to the monitor. Okay, so remember we had a little workaround. We could just size this down to really small, right? And then you could use most of your screen for you know, your other app, and then have the video playing in the back. But maybe I would actually want, you know, it the other way around, but it does not work like that. For example, if I chose that swap, right, it does absolutely nothing other than swap it on the screen. Okay, let's swap again. Okay. Okay, let's exit out of the YouTube app. Okay. So let's go back to the home screen. And let's see what else we might be able to do. Let's put Facebook. Let's get Facebook started. Okay. And then let's Gmail or Google Maps. I think I have my GPS off, so turn it back on. Okay. So if you want to use mapping for some reason, you could definitely use, look something up while you're surfing on the net or while you're using Facebook. Do that. Okay. So there you go. I think it definitely, I'll make this conclusion. It definitely isn't a computer replacement, but if you're a light computer user and you use the computer for the internet, Facebook, YouTube, it's actually better because it has the phone features as well, right? It has all the information that you would have on the Galaxy Note 2, right? But it's limited in that it will not run a full version of like Adobe Creative Suite or Visual Studio or even Microsoft Office. But it gets a lot of those features done, and you could definitely use this to accomplish a lot of tasks, more tasks than a traditional smartphone or even like a big size tablet, just because of the multi screen features. And I hope there's some workarounds. Like, once again, if you guys can chime in on what I could do with the video only being displayed on the monitor, okay? And some other problems we found out with the keyboard. Somebody can find a solution which doesn't kill the Bluetooth keyboard and mouse, once we enable something like null keyboard. Okay, so I just wanted to cover a couple of more things. So where this whole setup really shines is when you're using the web browser. And to be honest, I think it is the most important part of this experience, because the web browser is pretty much where I personally spend most of my time when I'm on the computer. Whether it be for work or entertainment, everything's done through the web now. So it is important that this experience works perfect, and they pretty much nailed that on the head. And even Flash works, so I really can't ask more of it. And if you wanted to do split screen multi web browsing, even that's possible, because Chrome, right? Chrome is also supported on here, right? So you could be running the stock browser and Chrome also. But actually, I prefer the web browser, the stock browser. So let's just use that for right now. Okay. Yeah, I can't say enough good things about the web browsing experience. It's pretty much a full experience, So let's see what else. Oh, I forgot to mention. I'm kind of straying off the topic here, but you know how on your phone you have this menu button here? Well, here's one thing. In my current setup with the Bluetooth mouse and the Bluetooth keyboard that I have no way to access the menu button. I've heard there might be some mouses or mice that's being sold that do have these buttons mapped, but unfortunately that is not the case with the mouse and the Bluetooth keyboard that I have. But it's really even if you don't have it, I don't think it's really that big of a deal. I don't really navigate to that often, and I have my other hand free, and I could always hit that menu button on the phone. And things like settings, you could actually access settings from here, right? So it's not a deal breaker, but it is kind of a bummer. It's that one missing link it seems. Okay, So anyway, the web browsing is perfect, and one last thing I want to mention is that the brightness on here, right? The brightness on here, you should turn that all the way down. I know I had it up just for this video. You should turn that all the way down, because that way your device, even though it's technically trying to be charged, it will continue draining if you have it at 100%, because this MHL cable definitely uses up a lot of power. Okay, and you might also notice your phone getting pretty warm as well, so just keep that in mind. Okay, so yeah, when we started we were at about 88%, and you can see it's at 83% now. But I've done this, at the lowest brightness setting, and it'll hover around the same percentage, so at least it won't drain your battery while you're doing TV out or HDTV out. Okay, and yeah, if you lock the screen, right, it's not going to keep the screen on, right, if you turn off the screen. So just keep that in mind. I think they're definitely trying to make this feature work, but it still has a lot of room for improvement, and it is still very useful in its current form. Okay, so once again, thank you for watching my videos. If you haven't seen my other videos, definitely check out my channel. I have about 60 videos on the Samsung Galaxy Note 2 doing demonstrations like this and accessory reviews, so definitely check that out, and please subscribe, because I'm planning on creating videos every day as long as you guys keep watching them. So definitely keep subscribed to keep updated, because I'm creating videos so that people can get the most out of their Galaxy Note 2. Okay, thank you for watching.